Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about process control block. So as we discussed in the previous video, that process is a program in execution and every process has different states like waiting, ready, running, etc. And only one process can be running on any processor at any instant, and there can be many processes ready and waiting. Okay. So process control blocks basically stores all the information associated with the specific process. Like suppose every person has some identification card, right? That identification card is used used for identifying that person, getting the details specific to that person, right? Like there you have some unique identification number, the name of the person, address, and maybe some age, other date of birth, other things. So all these information is specific to that person. So all that information is stored in that identification card, and that identification card can be easily used for identifying that person. Okay. Similarly, since there are multiple processes, so for identifying a particular process, all the related you have unique process number, and all the process related information is stored in the process control block. Okay, so like there is a process number, like for in any identification card there is a unique ID number. So for every process has a unique process number. Okay, and then since we have mentioned that a process can be in any state, so the state of the process is also stored in the PCB. Then comes the program counter. The program counter, as we all know, points to the next instruction to be executed for the particular process. Okay, so this is also saved in process control block. And then registers, actually the registers depend on the computer architecture, I mean the number and type of register, but basically there are accumulators, index registers, stack pointer, general purpose register, and these registers are used by a process when it is executing. So suppose if a process is executing and your CPU switches to another one, so first you have to save the register state so that the next time when you come back you can correctly continue executing that process. So the state of registers is also saved in the process control block. And then you have some memory management information. This include items such as value and limit of registers, page tables, and segment tables depending on the memory system used by the operating system. And this will be discussed detail in the later videos. Then we have some list of open files. Like suppose if a process is executing and it has opened a list of files and you are switching to some other process, so first you should save this information, so that it can be used later on when you are switching back to this process. Okay, so let's see how a CPU switches from one process to another now. So as we can see here, there are two processes, P0 and P1. Right now, and this is your operating system. So P0 is executing right now. Now then some interrupt or system call occurs. So you will have to switch, the CPU will have to switch. So now before switching to some other process, first we will save the state into PCB. Suppose you were executing, let's say there are multiple instructions lines, and the CPU is currently executing this particular instruction, and then this interrupt occurred. So you will have to save this information that the next instruction to be executed is this, right? So this information, if you have this information, then only when the next time you will come, you can start executing from this. Obviously you will not start from the first line again, right? So you will have to save this information that when you come back, you have to continue from here. Okay, so as we have discussed that program counter information is also saved in the PCB, and then what is the state of this particular process, what is the state of registers that this process used, and if this process has opened some files, all this information first will be saved, And then since you want to execute process P1, so first you need to load the state from PCB1 so that you can get all the necessary information related to that process. Because obviously, if the CPU wants to execute P1, so pehle it should know about the state, and then from what instruction the CPU has to execute this process P1. So program counter for this particular process will tell you about the next instruction to be executed for this particular process, and that information is stored in PCB. And if this process P1 has opened some file, etc., so you need all this information before actually executing process P1. So first the CPU will reload the state from PCB1, and once it has reloaded the space, then it will start executing the process. Meanwhile, it will be idle. Okay, and since this process has started executing, so this complete P0 process will be idle because it's not running right now. Once you have saved the state of this process P0, so it will be idle now. Okay, then since you have the CPU has started executing this one, now suppose while executing some another interrupt or system call occurs. So similarly, before switching to that particular interrupt, you will first save the state into PCB1. All the information, the next instruction to be executed, the state or the register state, list of open files, etc. into PCB1, and then you will reload the state of process 0 first, so that the CPU can know that from what instruction I have to start executing, what was the state of process P0, and then what was the program counter value, etc. Once it has all this information, then it will only start executing this particular process. So I hope this diagram is clear to you, and it is similar to, like, suppose if you are doing something, and then if you're writing and you stop there, and then someone else, I mean, you are writing and then someone interrupts you, like, can you please do this for me? So you will leave that work there only, right? And then you will start doing that particular work. But before actually switching to that work, you should save the work that you have done till now. Then only you will start that other work, so that when you continue with that work, you know that from what point you have to start again. Same thing happens when you are switching, when your CPU switches from process to process. So I hope this topic is clear to you. If you have any queries, please drop them in comment section.